Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Spence.
Hello there.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Katie is here.
Burning.
And Gal is here.
Good
Full
morning.
house. Morning.
We're all
Our
flush.
number is 561-518-9773. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So what's happening?
Black Friday, early birds.
Oh, yes.
Oh wait, when is that?
It started like this past week, right?
Yeah, on 20.
Uh,
A lot of
The
places started
beginning
on
of the
20th.
week it started.
Yes. Yeah, it started on like,
They started July 6th.
yes.
it's like movie theaters that did the midnight showing. It used to be actually on midnight, and then they
Yeah.
moved it up to 10 p.m. and then
Well,
they
you had
moved
to
it
wait-
up to the next day.
To wait out in front of the store.
Yeah.
You get out there with a tent and a sleeping bag waiting for the store to open on Friday morning.
This
I
is
saw-
a good opportunity to highlight once again a piece of or a plugin that Gal has recommended years ago called Keepa.
Yeah, I
Um,
use that.
Keppa. If you're using either Chrome or Firefox or Brave or whatever Edge, install that and you'll get a price graph that looks something like this on your Amazon listings so that you can view whether what you're seeing as a great deal is actually a great deal or not. So
How do you spell it again?
Keepa.
Okay.
Yeah.
I typed
And
in Ketta.
Yeah, and the graph that Nick showed, that's for only 3 months. That's the default, but you can see way longer. So you can see patterns of the price as well, and you can determine, okay, it's going to be cheaper probably again. So
Very not only very helpful, Gal, very eye-opening to see the
Yeah.
manipulation of sales on Amazon. I bought stuff after a sale, whatever it is, Prime Day, whatever. Buy things immediately after a sale, and they are cheaper than they were advertised during the sale. It's very, very peculiar.
one of the nicest feature of that thing, it has there's also a website that associated with it, and closing. You know, when you want to see a specific size and a specific style, and see, and out of these, for some reason, things will be differently priced. So it's very hard to see it on the Amazon page because you need to jump from that. You can go to the Keepa site of that item, and it will set everything as a table, and you can sort by any of the features that you want. So if you're looking, and you can filter. So if you're looking for stuff in different sizes and different styles, and you want to see the size, the prices, very easy to get that. Crocs, it's awesome. I when I buy Crocs shoes, then I'm always looking for the funkiest color possible because those are usually the cheapest. But I also have a very large foot, so I need to find the styles that actually matches. Yeah, it's an awesome tool. It's been helpful along the years.
Nice. All right. British soldiers are using...
Hold on. You're opening with that?
Yeah.
We're not opening with CloudFlaire?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get to it. All right,
Okay,
let's
okay.
go to CloudFlaire.
I mean, that's, that's
no,
like
you
the-
talk about it. Yeah, I know.
So that was, I believe that was what, Monday? Monday or
Monday.
Tuesday? Yeah, Monday morning.
Early
Yeah.
morning. Yeah.
So I wake up every morning between 4:30 and between 4:15 and 4:45, depending on the morning. And everything was normal. Everything was good. I noticed that things were a little slow. And so I did my radio show at 5 o'clock, wrapped that up a couple minutes before 5, and started going back online. Noticed that X was acting a little funky, and I use Chat GPT in the immediate aftermath of my show to generate some descriptions and titles and bios and all of that fun stuff. And it was taking forever. It was hanging, and I'm like, okay, maybe AT&T, my local internet provider, is having a problem. And then as like 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock rolled around, half of the freaking internet stopped working due to Cloudflare having. I don't know, Gal, if you've seen anything else since. I didn't see an actual description of what the issue was.
They were really vague. They're really
No,
vague about it.
they
They said it was an internal thing.
Okay, so here's what they say.
Yeah, I'm
So,
curious.
roughly 3 hours later, the Cloudflare said in a blog, the problem originated from a database permissions change deployed at 11:05 UTC. The modification altered how a database query returned information about bot detection features. The query began returning duplicate entries. A configuration file used to identify automated traffic doubled in size and spread across the network machines. Cloudflare traffic routing software reads this file to distinguish bots from legitimate users. The software had a built-in limit of 200 bot detection features. The enlarged file contained more than 200. The software crashed when it encountered the unexpected file size.
That makes sense. So this was not a
Not a denial of
so
service.
it sounds like it sounds like
they
what ended up
created a
happening was
a
created their
DDoS
own.
internally. Yeah.
Yeah, they DDoS themselves
Yeah.
with the amount of traffic.
Yeah, it's human error.
Yeah, human error, and it created
Yeah.
some major issues.
Major.
Monday morning. I think things got because it wasn't some freak switching accident or something. They obviously could track it back to this database. It seemed like they were able to resolve it pretty quickly, but I would say it wasn't until maybe between 9:10 and maybe 11 a.m. that things finally resolved and started coming back.
It's
Yeah, it took
not
4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
It's also involves. They could have fixed. Maybe they fixed it within an hour, but the propagation afterwards
Yes,
takes
Yeah.
forever.
especially on. I can only imagine how many servers Cloudflare has
Yeah.
across the country. It's
Right.
probably. It might be tens of thousands, if not more.
Yeah.
It could be hundreds of thousands. I have no idea. So
I will say that I wasn't able to play my game for like 10 minutes, and that was devastating.
Oh,
really, what were you trying to play? Because Cloudflare.
I play this idle resource game called
Oh, okay.
Melvor Idle or whatever, and it stores my phone saves because I can play on my computer or I can play on my phone, and so it saves the save file to the cloud. And I couldn't access my save file, so it was like, sorry, you can make a new game.
Gotcha.
And I was like, no, I've already put like 3 months of time in it. But I
Well,
Yeah, I
just had
think
to wait.
the biggest issues, X was down, ChatGPT was down, which is
Mhm.
obviously a major issue. Couple of other main website services. Zoom did not appear to break at all from my experience using it. Slack seemed to be fine. All the Microsoft products and Google products were good. But a lot of major websites use Cloudflare as a CDN and for DDoS protection.
Yep. All right. So
So it
talking
wasn't
about games.
DNS. That's the mantra of the story.
Talking about games. Let me go back now. So British soldiers are using computer games such as Call of Duty to sharpen their war fighting readiness. An army chief has said. The deputy commander of Cyber and Specialist Operations Command said the war in Ukraine, where remote operated drones have become crucial on the battlefield, proved the worth of having soldiers skilled in video gaming. The Ministry of Defense on Friday announced the launch of International Defense Esports Games, IDEG, a video gaming tournament that will pit the best of Britain's future cyber warriors against military teams from 40 other countries.
I mean, this is
That's
no different than pilots getting time
Yep.
on sims.
Right.
And these guys now, I don't know about Call of. I would assume they're playing Arma or something like that. Call of Duty is not a realistic
Counter-Strike.
simulator at all. Counter Strike's not even a simulator. I mean, you need Arma, which is like an actual sim, to do some of those trainings. But I mean, that checks out. Makes
they didn't
total
say
sense.
they didn't say it was for training. They say it was to sharpen their
Readiness. Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
readiness is training. I mean, the reason that
Well-
pilots that are not flying consistently have to keep up some level of sim hours is that exact same thing.
I
When I
actually
was-
think I actually read it a bit different, Nick. I do
Okay.
not read it as simulation. I read it more simulation. You're right; they'll use that, but that is usually very expensive to set up. And I'm thinking here they're talking about what we give them in the rec time is actually improving their actual teamwork and stuff like that.
Communication.
Like I'm reading the game and not the sim.
Maybe that's the case, and maybe it's like used as a. I mean, obviously, it would help your
eye hand.
hand-eye coordination,
Hand-eye.
Your ability to respond to a situation quickly. I mean,
Reaction times.
your
And
reaction time,
communication.
jump speed time. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I did see a study. This was a really long time ago, and I can't remember much of it. But it was like if you play a video game, and specifically they're like mind games that help you memorize stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
It helps your memory significantly, and it helps keep your brain engaged because your brain is like a muscle, and you need to use it. So if you're not firing off synapses and thinking about stuff, then it can atrophy. And I seem to remember it said something about holding off dementia or like granted, look this up because I don't know if this is true or not, but they were saying that the people that actively engaged their brain and they could do that easily through video games on their phone in ages like 60 to 70 or whatever, had healthier brains as
Right.
far as Alzheimer's.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Because you do just do crossword puzzle. Anything that's going to make you go back and just reason and do things is going to help. So
So I see the same thing here is they don't necessarily have to play a war game. It's just keeping their brains engaged, keeping their reaction time, keeping up communication. Because if they play a team style game, you very much have to it like relies on communication. And if they can't talk it out, then they're gonna die in the video game. So it's better to die in the video game than die in real life.
just to show that using simulations or I'm trying to put out. I used Flight Simulator when I was taking my pilot training back in the 90s. I had been using Microsoft Flight Simulator for years. And when I sat down to start my instrument training, the guy goes, "Where have you done this before?" I said, "Microsoft Flight Simulator." And it really helped me. I mean, I would set up flights in the clouds to go from one airport to another, and I'd speed it up so it would happen faster, but I had to do all of the normal planning you would do on a flight. And it really did help. I mean, I saved hours I didn't have to spend in the plane, which was expensive, because I got it right away.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what
Yeah.
the 9/11
Yeah. Oh, they
hijackers
did. They did. They used tools like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but they didn't care about landing.
Right.
No.
And that didn't set off a red flag when they said, "Yeah, I'm just interested in learning how to take off."
Yep.
Oh,
All right.
Can I
Yes,
before you
you
keep
can.
going, I'd like to bring up something I mentioned to you last week when I was in Raleigh, Amnon. Is the laser printer market is very bad right now in terms of pricing for consumers. these things are freaking outrageous. For a color laser, you're not getting in the door for new for probably less than $500.
Wow.
I don't know why that market has exploded so much. I would have assumed and thought that through COVID, when so many folks were moved home and people were buying, and or businesses were buying printers and stuff for people.
Mhm.
But the market is insanely inflated right now, and even the used market is insanely inflated. I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace for the last like 3 weeks,
Wait, for
and
laser printers?
Color.
color laser printers.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a black and white laser, which works great. But I'm getting to the point where I need some color, and used they're selling for $350.
Even the black and white printers, laser printers
Well,
are there.
are they?
Yeah, because I wanted to find one that had built-in uh, mobile device support,
Mhm.
because both of mine are brothers and they're so old. One, I had to put it on Ethernet because the Wi-Fi wouldn't connect anymore because the Wi-Fi card was so old. But they're great printers. But I went out looking at Brother and it was like, wait, these prices have just, and this is a year ago or more, were just not great. And the supply was not great. You never
Yeah,
I've got
it's
a
like
good
never saw a sale on
I've got
Brother.
a good solution for you, Spence. Did you already find a solution to your problem?
No, well, they do have an app. Brother has an app that called IP Print. It's
Okay.
okay, but it's not
It's not
printing.
AirPrint.
Yeah.
So I have a very, very old Brother laser printer that doesn't even have Ethernet. It is just USB. And I'm running, and you may have used it in the past, Cups, CUPS.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a printer server.
Yep.
And it by default, with no setup whatsoever, it supports air print and wireless printing and all of that. And I mean, if you have a Raspberry Pi or an old laptop kicking around, it
Run it.
makes for
Yeah.
a great cup server.
Actually, I do have a Raspberry Pi that I inherited, and I was going
Yeah,
to try to. Yeah, I should look at that.
perfect use for that. Connect it to the internet, USB into it, and you've got a fully fledged, fully functioning printer server with very little work at all.
That would be good.
Hmm.
But it's just the
Pam
market's
doesn't.
absurd right
Pam
now.
doesn't have a PC anymore. She just uses her iPad. So
Mhm.
when she needs to print something, I use that IP Print if I can use it.
Yeah. I will admit I've not, because I only have black and white, I'm not printing a whole hell of a lot from my phone. But the few times that I have printed documents via the AirPrint through cups to the printer, it seems to work fine.
So, Spence, let me ask you this. If she can print from the iPad, you said, if I can use can the iPad serve as the old time print server? You can print to Kathy's computer and it'll print on the laser printer. I
Yeah,
did.
if it has mobile support.
If what has mobile support?
The printer, because AirPrint
It's a
if you want
proprietary
to
printer.
print
Oh,
from
so the
if you want to
problem
print
is
from
the
the
printer.
iPad, you
Okay.
say print this in the iPad. It goes out and looks for AirPrint servers
Okay.
and if it finds one, it'll print to it. But it's on newer mobile devices. It's like it's so easy.
Okay.
It doesn't. There's no
Gotcha.
restrictions at all. So it's nice.
And I mean, pretty much any modern printer probably bought within the last, hell, I might even say like 8 years, will have an AirPrint built into it. It's not a very cumbersome thing to implement. So everybody has, but anything over probably 8 or 9 years is just obviously doesn't have the
Yeah.
protocol. And so then the alternative is cups, or as Spence noted, an app, but I would imagine those results are probably sketchy at best.
I can't remember the details of it, but I know that back in the earlier days of me using Apple products, we had to use cups
Yeah.
drivers. But that was two very large commercial laser printers that had cups built in. Oh,
It's not often that you set something up. Sorry, Gal. It's not often you set something up in Linux and it actually works. It's always a huge pain in the ass, and there's always things to tweak. I set cups
I
up on
agree.
my old server probably 10 years ago, hadn't touched it till I moved over to my new machine earlier this year and had to install and set up, and it took a matter of like 5 minutes to download the universal driver from Brother, install it, and bam, it actually just works, which is not normally the case.
Well, I mean, really depends on the system that you're trying, but you're right, it's not always straightforward.
But when it works, very, very flawless and nothing but consistency.
To quote, there's a Princeton professor that does like these funny talks that get on YouTube, and he has a line in one of them where he's complaining about computer usage and like the daily driving a machine, and then he says, "Well, you say install Linux, you say," and then he says, the phrase is, "What will be the choice I make that would give me the least amount of stress is never install Linux." The answer is never install Linux. It's like
I had a good experience past week with Linux Lite. I was looking for easy distributions. I want to try them all.
Yeah.
But I got some flash drives that were apparently formatted. It were put out by a company to distribute firmware for their networking products. So you plugged it into Windows. It showed up in disk management, but blank. No partitions would show, nothing. So I was like, what do I do with this? And it then basically locked down. And I used Linux with the help of Grok to go in and just do command line and go in and reformat it
Oh, nice.
and find it. So I was happy with.
By the way, testing out different distros. Check out netboot.xyz.
Oh, yeah. I just watched a video on that.
So netboot, yeah, I've been using it for years. Netboot.xyz allows you to create a USB key with a very lean boot program. When you boot the USB key, it provides a menu of the different distributions it knows about, and what it does, it'll only work if you have an Ethernet cable, because it uses DHCP. It connects to your network, and then it downloads the ISO live from the website immediately. So you do not need to prepare the USB key with the latest and greatest ISO. It'll grab it online immediately. And if you want to try out all of the live CDs out there, right, it's just a matter of just clicking. It'll download it live, load it in as the boot RAM drive, and you can run it. You can run it and test it out, or even use it to install it on the system that you're running it. So no need for the preparation step before actually booting Linux. So
That's great.
something that will make your life easier in the search. And in the same line, you can also make it the boot drive of a virtual machine, and then you don't even need to boot the machine, right? You just spin up the virtual machine once, it downloads something, you test it out, and you boot it again, it downloads something else, and you test it around. So
Again, it's called
netboot.xyz.
Netboot.
That's their website. The domain is netboot.xyz.
All right. Windows 11. Microsoft has acknowledged in a support article that major Windows 11 core features, including the Start menu, taskbar, File Explorer, and System Settings, break after applying monthly cumulative updates released on or after July 2025.
Wow.
The problem stemmed from XAML component issued that affect updates beginning with July Patch Tuesday. The features occur during first-time user login after cumulative updates are applied, and non-persistent OS installations like virtual desktop infrastructure setups. Microsoft lists Explorer exe crashes, Shellhost exe crashes, Start menu experience host failure, and system settings that silently refuse to launch among the symptoms. The company provided PowerShell commands and batch scripts as temporary workarounds that re-register the affected packages. Both Windows 11 versions 24H2 and 25H2 share the same code base and are affected. Microsoft said it's working on a fix, but did not provide a timeline.
Interesting.
So if you are having any problems with Windows 10 or 11, I would think, I mean, I didn't see why nobody mentioned it, but I would think just roll back those updates.
Yeah, that's not a good suggestion.
Well, I mean, but you want to use the computer.
Yeah, it's still not a good suggestion because rolling back means exposing yourself to other security issues that were
Oh.
fixed. So
Talking about exposing yourself.
Hey now. What?
Huh?
hey, yeah, exactly. Come on.
I
This
had
is
a call.
Yeah.
talk show.
Exposing your computer.
Okay.
A customer called me Friday saying they had to close their computer abruptly, turn it off, because they were sitting there in front of it and the cursor was going all over the place, turning off tabs, opening programs. And I said,
Somebody
yep,
got access.
somebody got access.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I went over there and disconnected from the internet, which is, it's a problem when you are using Wi-Fi. You have to start the computer first in order to get.
Well, you can switch it off in the BIOS. It's a pain, but you can.
Well, but went
Or-
ahead and
Or you can do safe mode without networking.
I went ahead and I started it and turned off the thing, and I watched. Nothing happened. It was fine. And I went to updates, and it says that there are 4 updates that were due. I mean, this is Windows 10. That's and sorry, Windows 11. I thought it was Windows 10. So it said that it's very late in doing this. So I went and it says, do not update Windows or something like this. You can refuse, or I can't, it said something about the over metered internet
Yep.
and
Yeah.
things like, anyway.
That's how I install Windows this time.
So I told it to go ahead and do the updates. So First I went and started looking a little bit more, and I found in the processes a weird process that was very cryptic name that, there's nothing to it, just numbers and letters that made no sense. And I put it on the other computer into a web search, couldn't find anything about it. So, and I never knew that you can do this. If you highlight the thing in Task Manager, it tells you where it resides. I didn't know that. I never had to do this. And it says that it's a batch file. Said, aha. So I went back into the computer and went into the username and the local settings. And what is it? Windows apps or
App data.
where you have the roaming and the
Yeah,
Yeah.
app data. Yep.
app data, and found it. I tried to edit it. It was all cryptic stuff, but it obviously was in a place where it shouldn't have been. So I deleted it, did a search for it, didn't find any duplicates of it. Then I looked at the other users and found another file just like it in another user's folder. Deleted that. Then I reconnected to the internet and told it to go ahead and do the updates. And it did the updates, and the whole time I put the cursor on a certain point, and I said, okay, I want to see if that cursor will move from there. It didn't. So it finished doing the updates. I went and downloaded Malwarebytes and ran it. It found one thing that it didn't know what it was. It says, that looks strange. I looked when it was installed, and it was last week sometime. I asked him if he downloaded anything. That he said no. I deleted it. And at that point, I told him, well, now you should be able to use the computer. So I started, then I started asking questions. So when did this start? He said, oh, about a month ago. I said, and you calling me today? He said, well, I was dealing with my bank because they moved money from my PayPal account to my, from the bank to PayPal, and then they tried to take it. And there was something Zoom. That there were a lot of things that obviously, and he's not technical, period. I said, you should have called when it started because you need to change all your passwords now. He said, well, I just did yesterday. I said, no, now you need to change it because if you change it yesterday, they already know that you changed it. But it was, I've never seen a batch file. I mean, this had
I've
to
seen
have
that.
been, it has to have been something that he okayed to install.
So, can I ask, was AnyDesk or TeamViewer or
No.
any of those? None of those were installed.
There was one thing that was installed was Log Me In, but it was installed in 2023.
But that's fine. But
know.
if that Log Me In was running and you know,
It
all of
wasn't
these-
running. It was installed among the apps, but it wasn't running. No,
there was no service running with it.
no.
Interesting. Then yeah, it must
But
have been
I do-
downloaded or an email attachment.
I
guess.
installed.
Well, I mean,
I uninstalled it anyway.
it can still use Quick Assist, which is built into Windows, man.
Yeah,
No.
you're right.
Do
That's an
Yeah.
option too.
I asked
Doesn't
him if he.
necessarily need to be AnyDesk.
I asked him if he installed anything for anybody to come into his computer to help because his son is pretty good with computer. I said, did you? He said, I never done anything like that.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that somebody else didn't do it for
Right.
him.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, be very careful. And apparently it was both of them were installed in the user folder, app data, roaming. Microsoft.
I'm sorry to say, Amnon,
Yeah.
I am not confident that you cleaned up the system.
Well, I told him,
Other than a full reinstall, I don't know if I would be comfortable with running that system.
well, he's got a lot of
Happened to
stuff,
me
no backups.
in the past, so
I
can
don't
say
know.
it from like
I told him when to look to see if that cursor is going to move around. I mean,
but
he
that's
did
too
not.
late.
I told him the same thing, that you need to reinstall Windows from scratch. And he said, no, I can't do that now. There's too many things here. I said, yeah, too many things that people can get into.
And installing from scratch does not mean losing the data. It just means installing a brand new OS next to it'll move the files. Windows does not format the drive today if you do it correctly, right? It just moves things to the side. And so it just means he'll need to install the applications that he is using and configure them, etc. Some of it if you're using a Microsoft account, some of it is synced, some of these
He's not.
configuration. So, I mean, understand that that is a compromised machine at this point.
Obviously. Yeah.
I mean, we say obviously, but
We'll
it seems
we'll have to. I mean, remember what you're saying. I don't know if you really cleaned it, but there's a possibility that it did clean it. It may have been something real simple, like that batch file gives you access, and you go and you do stuff. And if in that case it's cleaned, if there are other aspects of it on the drive or somewhere that they can get in, then it would be there.
I
You
am
know, you
guessing
can
that
lead a
if
horse to
you- if
water,
you-
but you
No,
can make
I'm
a
guessing
drink.
that if you reach out, install some remote access software right now
No.
for you, right?
Yeah.
To check his machine, you will see that those batch files are still there. You cleaned up a version of them, right? But the reason that you could not find something with the same name is because every single boot creates a random name.
That's correct.
It creates a random name. So you searching for the name will not help.
I was searching for that bat afterwards.
Yeah, still not enough.
Well, I mean, there's
Something is generating those .bats.
it may be.
And the fact that you cleaned them up does not mean that you stopped whatever was generating them.
Well, I'll find out Monday or Tuesday
Yeah, maybe.
if something else is there. He was not concerned about it for well, not concerned. He let it go. He knew that it started about a month ago and he let it go.
I mean,
So-
I'm guilty of that too.
You what?
I said I'm guilty of it too.
It's very possible that it was something very old and very somebody
The fact that
Amateur
the mouse
did it
means
and
there's a person behind that has already marked the system
Yeah.
as I can have access.
Yeah.
So whoever's on the other side will just change the hours that they access because when they moved it disconnected. Right? So
Yeah, well, the good thing is he always turns off the machine when he leaves the office.
That's good.
that's that's
Yeah. So we'll see.
A simple thing, by the way, a very simple thing, is to make sure you lock your system. People don't necessarily lock their system with the password.
Oh no,
It's a very, very easy thing to do, even at home. So
Yep.
Windows key L.
Yeah, I mean he's got it, and with it every time like after 5 minutes, I think
that's good.
it blanks it, and when you try to come back, it asks you for the password again. And it's got a good password on it. So obviously, I mean, look, it's still a compromised machine. I mean, you're right, Gal. I mean, it may still be, but it may not. There's always a chance that it's not. So we'll see. We'll find out. All right. Let's see who's using Thunderbird? Anybody?
My grandparents are.
So
Set it up for them a couple of years ago.
Thunderbird
Wait, isn't
Pro.
Thunderbird a car?
It is also a car. Pontiac Thunderbird, right?
Thunderbird Pro has moved its ThunderMail, now they call it ThunderMail, service into production, testing as the open source email client subscription bundle of additional services prepare for an early bird beta launch at $9 per month.
Yes.
that will include email hosting, encrypted file sharing through Send, and scheduling via appointment. That's nice. I mean, it's a lot of people used to use it,
Well,
but
Oh,
then
now
Like
that
they're
they're
competing with ProtoMail. Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, but I mean, not until recently did the Thunderbird even offer mail service. It was just a client. It was it was
right.
Outlook, a Windows Live Mail Express, or whatever the hell that was called. I got the email about it this week. I mean, Gal just hit the nail right on the head. It's very similar to Proton Mail and some of these other services, but the stuff that they've just added, it makes it a lot more palatable for people that are used to Gmail or any other major mail provider with calendars and files and stuff like that. Without that stuff, it's hard to recommend something that has none of those basic features that have existed in email
Well,
for 30 years practically.
yeah, but
Um,
this exists in Thunderbirds for the past 10 years. It's not something
well,
new on
it
the desktop side.
well, hold on. No. Um, yes, if you were using a Gmail address inside of Thunderbird, but if you were using if you had your gal at thundermail.com email address, this stuff was not available until now.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
And so they're trying.
I'm talking about the functionality. I'm not talking about the service. Yeah.
Oh, correct. Yeah, it's had those features, but now that they're rolling out their Proton Mail equivalent, which is called ThunderMail, these are these are absolutely must have features.
Well, they've been doing a good job at it. I mean, for a long time, they've been developing and
Mhm.
so they're doing it right.
Yeah, and I mean,
There's
the issue
the,
is the pricing's a little steep. $9 a month. I mean,
that's why I said ProtoMail. ProtoMail is $10 a month, I
yeah?
think.
What is what's a basic Gmail account cost? Or
I
like
haven't
for the
looked at.
one step updated. I mean, it can't be but maybe $5 or $6 a month. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
but
more. I
I
don't know.
think
They're making it.
even if you pay Gmail for storage, which is
Mhm.
basically what you pay for,
Yeah,
you're still losing on the privacy.
that's a
So
very good point.
the $10, $9 is basically the price the price of privacy, sort of, but it still means $120 a year, right? Or 110, and it's for something that people have gone through getting used to the idea that it's free. So it's
I'll say this though. You mentioned Proton Mail. I know a lot of people that have at Proton email addresses. They have done the privacy argument, which typically doesn't resonate for non-techie people. Proton has done a really good job at convincing people it is important, and it is evident by the people that use it.
I mean, to tell the truth, the amount that I use email, either at work or personally, is basically to get an acknowledgement from some store that my order has been shipped.
Yeah.
Personal
Or
communication has stopped through email.
yeah,
That does
you're
not
100%
exist
right.
anymore, right? And if my communication is with some sort of store, then privacy has already gone out the window, right? Because both the credit card company, the payment third party provider, and the store ecosystem are collecting information about me. So the email will collect a bit more information about me. Yeah, the cookies already do that for me either. Anyway, so in terms of email, right? Unless I am really old school and most of my communication are still on email because the other side of the conversation I'm having is with people using email. And unless the other side is using ProtoMail as well, or ThunderMail in this case, right? I am exposed anyway. Like this system is exposed in its nature. And so I don't see. I will refuse to pay $120 per mailbox on that, right? I'm thinking I'll refuse to pay $120 for hosting a mail server as well. It
True.
seems too steep, right? So I understand people who buy that, they have this notion that privacy is important for them, but it looks like the execution is just off the mark. It's just not the right execution. That's use Signal, right? You'll at least have communication which is secure, and whatever you're doing with the outside world is anyway, you lost privacy there. So yeah,
Good point.
problematic. Yeah.
All right. Christmas is coming.
Is
Right?
it?
And the goose is getting fat.
So this is an interesting article. The guy writes, they're cute, even cuddly, and promise learning and companionship.
Furby?
But artificial
Some AI
intelligence
something.
toys
Yeah.
are not safe for kids. According to children's and consumer advocacy groups urging parents not to buy them during the holiday season. These toys, marketed to kids as young as 2 years old, are generally powered by AI models that have already been shown to harm children and teenagers, such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, according to an advisory published Thursday by the children advocacy group Fair Play and signed by more than 150 organizations and individual experts such as child psychiatrists and educators. So yeah, I don't have any personal experience with this, but you have to believe organizations that are, child advocacy groups and doctors. Um,
Well, you know what? I don't know if I trust them. That's not the issue. There is one thing I would say. If you're buying some sort of toy, any game, anything that is connected online and you give it to children that are below, I don't know, let's go with the law, below 13, okay?
Mhm.
Then you are not there while they're playing, okay?
Right, which you are not.
Which is probably the case, then you are exposing them to something, right, that you have zero control of,
Mm-hmm.
and that constantly changes, constantly morphs, and also is learning everything about your kid. Just think about that, okay? Just don't even, maybe the education that you're getting from it is top notch, but think about putting your kid in front of a webcam with another person on the other side that you do not know how they operate, what their motives are, how they are thinking, right? And you are letting them spend most of the day with them.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it means to leave somebody with an AI. I mean, as an adult, you feel uncomfortable with that. So, will you do that with a kid?
I
Uh,
just heard an advertisement on the radio this morning, actually, for an AI toy. I don't remember what it was called, but it was from Costco that said that this toy is now $7.99 and it's an AI teaching thingy for kids, and it said if the kid was 1 to 5, you get this toy, and if they were older, then they would get another toy, but it was all AI driven, and I heard the ad for it, and I was like, "I don't know if I would trust AI to, like, babysit my kids," like, because that's kinda what you're doing, right? You're leaving the AI there with your kids to it's in charge of
to
coming up
pacify
with
him.
stuff. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know if I would if I'd feel comfortable with that as a parent. But it's $7.99 or $77.99 at Costco right now. That's what the ad said.
I'm looking at it. I believe it's called the Miko Mini.
Nico. I was gonna say
yes.
Nero, but yeah, Nico.
Yeah, this is. I just put a link to it in the chat. This thing's got a freaking webcam on it and a screen. This thing is
This
thing's weird looking, man.
Well, you just, I mean, the thing is just be aware.
Question is, who the hell is Miko?
It's just the name that they're not going to get sued.
Looking at this is all this company makes. I'm looking at their Amazon page, and all they've got is these little robots. Wonder who's behind this.
So
who certifies that the Miko is kid safe?
I don't think anybody.
The marketing team within Miko.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why you'd ask such a question.
Oh, but it's certified.
Yeah. They're well, one of their testimonials on their Amazon page is from Al Jazeera. Of all places. Miko is proving that AI robots are now reality. Al Jazeera. So that's an interesting one to say the least. Not where I go to for my tech content, but
all right. So for those
before we move on to something else, could I just bring up my laptop display?
Yeah.
Solution?
Oh yeah, you have an update on your
lack of solution. Yeah. So after trying all these different things, I finally discovered why I didn't know about this earlier in my searches is that there's an easy way to reset the graphics, which is just keystrokes, Win Control Shift B, which basically supposed to be resetting the graphics driver on in Windows. So after going through, I took the laptop out of the dock, put it back in the dock, losing my mind, couldn't get it to work. Works fine, connected to the dock to my 2 monitors. So I do this and I don't see any difference. So I'm sorry. So let me just start going down the line with the function keys. And I hit the brightness key and suddenly I can see a very dim image.
Oh man.
The brightness was set to 0.
No. So that was your issue.
That was well, I don't know if doing the reset it to 0, or that was the original problem. But there's no. I don't even touch the keyboard on this thing ever. It just sits there. I open the lid to start it and close the lid when I'm done.
You know what's interesting though, because I have a Lenovo laptop, and even with the screen, even with the brightness at 0, the screen I think is still on. I'll check.
This was not on.
But that's what I'm saying is typically with brightness, you can get it real low or it's really faint, but I don't believe that turning the brightness all the way down, at least on my,
you would still see stuff.
There's still a faint screen there.
Yeah,
even though the backlight's down.
That's probably why I was hitting the keys, because I saw a faint, but there was no image. So, but that's what it was.
Well, Spence, did you take off the sunglasses when you did that?
No, I was doing it with my
blinders,
solar sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah, your solar eclipse glasses. You can see the screen.
I just had them sitting there. I said, put them on. So I figured it would help.
Well, but it's fixed now.
It's fixed.
Yeah, that's what counts.
Well, I mean, I was using it fine. Otherwise,
I'm gonna go grab my laptop and turn the brightness all the way down and see what it looks like. I'm pretty sure.
I think you'll probably see. Well, it depends on how it's backlit. If it's LED backlit, it may be different than. What is the display technology that each individual pixel is individually? That's what?
OLED.
OLED, that's it. Yeah. Each individual
but those are expensive.
Really expensive, yeah.
Well, they're more expensive than LCD backlight. Okay, so they are becoming the norm in cell phones.
Television? Or phones, yeah.
No, in cell phones. In television, it's still expensive because it's something about the quality control to make sure that there are no dead pixels on production. And once the mesh is, as it grows, the quality control, the amount of dead pixels that might show up in the mesh is higher and higher.
Exponentially
So,
higher.
exponentially.
I remember when the technology first came out that they were saying that you will, over the life of the use of your television, there's an acceptable number of dead pixels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because unlike with, because here, if one dead pixel comes out and you need to replace the mesh is expensive compared to
I
LCD.
would guess, yeah.
right? Yeah. And with LCD, it's more like, okay, let's, open a flap and close a flap, and not just provide specific electronic pulses to a specific location. So yeah.
So,
So
Spence, if I turn my backlight all the way down, the screen does in fact turn off. So that was probably your
Yeah.
issue from day one. I assumed, I guess I've never turned it
Well, it might be
all
a
the way off.
mixture. It might be a mixture of
Yeah.
something in the video driver not providing a proper image, and during troubleshooting, going and playing with the brightness, but nothing happens, and
Yeah,
then it goes
that's a good
to
point, too.
0, right? Yeah.
I am surprised though. That does kind of seem like it kind of seems like a design fault, right? Because you could see a situation where you accidentally lay something on your laptop keyboard and the brightness goes all the way down to 0, and you're not watching it happen, and then the next thing you know, your display is dead, and you wouldn't think, like, Spence, I don't touch the brightness keys. Why the hell would the brightness be set at 0? That seems like it's almost a design flaw.
yeah,
Like, there
because
should be a separate function button for turn, and there is on my Lenovo. There is a turn off display button. It's like 3 keys over from the brightness. But that just seems like a flaw. That seems like
you
a design
would think that restarting the machine would say, okay, yeah, he had it off, but
It should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, you got to remember that Windows doesn't know what the brightness of the screen is. That's a firmware. That's
Oh, that's even worse.
display.
Firmware
That's a
should bring
display
it.
firmware.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. You would never even think to begin troubleshooting with that.
And there were a lot of hits looking for this with people like, what do I do? And the answers were not, they had you going in so deep into it that, back off your graphics driver and reinstall it and all these
Sure.
other things that most people said it did nothing. It didn't change anything.
Yeah, because again, even the graphics driver is not controlling brightness. That's
Right.
firmware on the machine. That's
If
really
you-
interesting.
If you have it plugged into the docking station, I have 2 monitors on the docking station through USB-C. If you close the lid and you've got the graphics window open, you'll see 3 monitors, and you close the lid. Now you've got 2.
Sure.
It automatically shuts it down. And when you open it again, like, there's no way to shut it down with the lid open I never tried that key you talked about, Nick, to see if that would actually do it also. While the lid is open, hit the display key.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mess with it now. I'm gonna change it.
All right. Let's switch. Windows 11, Windows 10. It says, with all the hoo-ha surrounding Windows 10's end of support, the fact that Windows 11 23H2 reached its end of support date on November 11th has gone by pretty much unnoticed. So this is a reminder that Windows 11 23H2 is no longer receiving security updates, and you need to update to a newer version ASAP. So
Is this the one that's sitting in the if you go to say check for updates and it says you're up to date, but it says now load the it's not they don't call it a preview anymore.
It's called feature updates.
Feature update. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm usually
well, whatever it is,
wait
if
for
you're
those.
running 23H2, it's like no more support there. And TP-Link. We talked about TP-Link. California-based TP-Link says it may take a sales hit of more than $1 billion
Yeah.
because of erroneous reports that the networking company's technology has been infiltrated by Beijing. In a lawsuit, TP-Link claims its competitor, Netgear, orchestrated a smear by planting false claims with journalists and internet influencers with a goal of scaring off customers.
That's freaking hilarious.
I mean,
That's amazing. I knew the head of Netgear,
Mhm.
Patrick Lowe. I knew him when I'd go to California. I'd stop in and see him when he was still at Synoptics, because they were a spinoff of Synoptics. And I got to know him pretty well, stayed in touch with him over the years. It's been a long time since I talked to him, but I don't know if he's still there. I have to check.
probably not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll look it up now, because I could send him an email and say, hey, did you smear these guys?
Oh, I'm
I mean,
sure.
you talk about putting the genie back in the bottle. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that. You know,
You can't.
I come from the news, the news and media industry. The original report, 100% of the people read. The retraction or the correction is like 20 or 30%, and
Right.
that's the issue that Netgear is, or excuse me, the TP Link is now going to have to deal with. Is people are even if it's complete bullshit, people are just going to say, oh well, I wouldn't buy a TP.
Well, the only thing they can do is smear Netgear as this big evil, and maybe.
But who sees that? 20% of people, right? It's
No,
not
but that's
doesn't
the
make
thing.
as
They need
sexy
to
of a
create.
story.
They need to create like a counter story that says that they were infiltrated and nothing that came out of them can be trusted, including and make that.
They could say like Netgear was purchased by Elon Musk or something like that, or,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Trump is the head, the new
You heard it here
CEO of
first.
Netgear.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Patrick Lowe retired in 2024, and just as he retired from the board and retired as CEO, and they brought in a new guy that's got let's see, see what his background is, but I wonder if that isn't why they did this.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
all right.
Wow, that's wild.
NordPass analysis found that Gen Z is actually worse at password security than older generations,
I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
this.
100%.
with 1, 2, 3,
100%.
4, 5 topping their list, while 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dominates among everybody else.
I'll tell
Makes
you why I
total
believe
sense.
this, because the last hockey game I went to in person, they in between the TV commercials, they'll play videos of that they film of the players, and they're usually funny or whatever. Well, one of them was like green flag, red flag, and so if a player agrees with it, they hold up a green flag. If they don't agree, they hold up a red flag. Anyways, the question was, it is a good idea to make your password be password. and players are all like under 25. And so Gen Z, I'm assuming. And they were like, "Oh man, that's so smart. Who would guess password?" and then the other one was like, "Wait, what if it was like password 123?" Like unironically. I think the guy was like 19 or 20 or whatever, and he just like you could tell he's never had any kind of like safety online class. Like I remember when I was growing up and I was like in high school and stuff, they were like, "You beware of danger, like set your password to be something hard and blah 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 blah." These guys had no awareness. They thought it was a good idea. In fact, the only person that said it was a bad idea was a player that was in his 30s. So I'm like, oh no. And I was like, now I know how to hack into their banks and in their accounts because they're gonna change it to password 123.
The best
Yeah.
password are 6 asterisks.
Yep,
Can't tell. Exactly.
can't tell.
I
Unfortunately,
mean, it makes
you can't do that because then it's gonna be like, oh, you need an uppercase and a lowercase.
Yep.
well,
Well,
that's how the Louvre. That's how they fixed their security problem. They changed it from lowercase to uppercase.
It makes a lot of sense, especially with, you're looking at like 15, 16, 17-year-olds. The idea of password security that, you guys went through in the 80s and 90s just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Thankfully,
We had
Thankfully,
policies.
passkeys, that's why they were invented, because they understood that this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like how passkeys are getting easier to implement and that people are on board. And I have to,
But it's
I think it's a good thing. I just hope it doesn't wind up having some issue that we're not aware of.
Well, the biggest issue, right, is the weakest link in a passkey is the human being
Mhm.
setting up the vault with a very weak encryption, right?
Yeah.
So if a brute attack is possible on the local vault, let's say our friend here that Amnon visited this week, right?
Mhm.
And let's say he uses passkeys explicitly, but access to his machine was possible, and the password to his local vault isn't that big of a deal. From that vault, specifically from that machine, people can reach out and try and generate new passkeys for their machines instead. So the weakest point will be the local vault, because but that is hard to harvest, right? You can hit a single person, but you cannot hit thousands of persons at the same time with just with that. As long as we are in that position, then yeah, passkeys are definitely the solution. I hope people will learn to set for the local. By the way, Windows Hello with its pin, right? That is exactly the reason that exists. You can have a very, very long password that is the actual password to the account, but you can then set a 6-digit PIN, which is encrypted locally. That is never transmitted anywhere outside of the machine. And so that PIN unlocks your real password, which unlocks your real encryption key. And you are in a much safer position using these 6 digits instead of your password, because you will remember them and they're in your muscle memory and it's fast to type and all that, but they are never transmitted. Right?
What
That's what
six?
stands behind them.
What 6 characters? I thought it was 4.
But maybe it can be 4. It doesn't matter. It's local.
Okay.
It's local. It does not it isn't being transmitted. And even if it will be transmitted, it means nothing because it is not the password itself.
Mhm.
So with that PIN, you cannot access anything unless you are on this machine. It's not fireproof, foolproof completely, but it's a lot better than using the same password everywhere, right? So
All right. Anything else anybody wants to add before we end the show? Come on.
don't trust
Come on.
AI.
Come on.
Don't trust AI, and don't trust AI with your kids.
All right. Well,
It is a good friend, though, if you're trying to learn how to use Linux to help you walk you through command
Oh
line.
yeah, for sure. What I mean by don't trust is
Oh,
you
I
can
know.
ask it
Yeah.
for questions, but
Yeah.
don't make it your friend, right? That's the thing. It's like
I
make it your tool. Don't make it your friend.
yes, I
Yeah.
ran into that. We're trying to get information about fixing an older car. And
Yeah.
I literally arguing with it to say, no, there were 2 engines in that car that year. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
all right, guys. So let's end it. Hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks again, Nick, Katie, Spence, Gal, and good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together today. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner, and change any same passwords wherever you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9. I guess we are. Anybody going to be away?
I'm probably not going to be here.
Okay. All right.
I may be. I'm not sure yet.
But you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT in Charlotte, 11:10 a.m., 99.3 FM, and it's on YouTube. Just search for the Carolina Journal News Hour and you'll find it. And also Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick hosts The Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. Just go to nickcraig.com and you'll get the info and where to watch and download and whatever you need. Again, everybody, have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. And we'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.